Hello. In this little video I'm going to show you how to crochet a little hen. The stitches that I've used to create this pattern are very basic and you can adapt it to however you want. Some scissors and some yarn. Now I've just used some scrap pieces really because you don't need that much. So this is going to be for the body of the hen, and then a bit of orange and some red for the tail and for the comb and beak. We're going to start by making the head of our little hen by using 2 circles. So we're going to start creating the circles. I'm using a 4mm hook, but you use whatever you want really. So obviously the larger the hook and the thicker the yarn, the bigger your hen will be. Now you can start by a simple slip knot and then chain 4, go back into that first chain to a slip knot to create your ring. And a lot of patterns when you look at them will tell you to start like this. I prefer to do a magic ring. I think it's neater, but it doesn't really matter, you use whatever you want. So to do a magic ring, wrap it around your fingers, pull up your loop and pull that. There's your magic ring. We're going to do chain 1 and then into the loop 11 double crochets. So we're going into the loop. It's a bit tricky to begin with because the ring's all floppy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 11. So your first chain counts as 1, then you use this tab to just pull it tight. Then you're going to finish off round 1 with a slip stitch into that first chain that you did there. Chain 1. This is our first round. Just wiggle it through. That's the centre of the head. Round 2. We're now going to do trebles into our doubles all the way around. 2 trebles in each of the chains. So we're starting off with the chain 2. That counts as our first one. Yarn round. And that counts as 2. Then in each stitch we do 2. 1, 2. Oops. Oh, let's put that back in. 2. So what we will end up with is 24 to create your first circle. Just to the end now, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and we do the last hole here, 23, 24, and that's our chain 3 there. We're just going to do a slip stitch like this. I'm going to cut your yarn and then just pull it through, and that's your first circle. Just coming to the end of the second one, just done 18, 19, 20, oh no, that's, I've miscounted there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, yeah. 23, 24, and the same as your first one, I'm going to join with a slip stitch. Oh, let's just take that one out. Just there, but this time you don't cut your yarn. Let's just do a, because we're going to use this to join with the first one. Now it's a good idea to weave in your ends as you go, and it is a lot easier to do this before you join them together. So I'm just going to weave in the ends so that they don't come out. That will be fine. We're now going to join these two together. So we're going to put the wrong sides together, and we're going to join in these stitches as we match them up. We have 24 stitches all the way around. We want to leave 8 on each circle, so we're actually going to stitch and crochet 16 stitches, and we're just going to use a single crochet to do that. Now you can use your back, go into your back loops if you want to, and that will create a bit of a ridge which can look quite nice. 1, a little bit fiddly to start with. 2, very fiddly, that one. Ah, that was my joining stitch, that was why. Slip that in there. 3, you can go through both loops if you want to. Try it out, see which one you prefer. 4. So you can see that I'm just joining them up with this chain, and because I'm going into the back loop I get this ridge here which I quite like as part of the chicken head. You're going to go all the way around. I'm just on the 16th one. You can see that's stitched all the way around. You're left with a hole, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on each side. Then what we're going to do now, we're going to work in a round on these 16 stitches to make the neck. Chain 1, and we're going to do a puff stitch in each of these chains, in each of these stitches. Okay, so a puff stitch, wrap your yarn around the hook, pick it up, pull it up again, wrap it round again, pull it through, wrap it round again. So you've now got your chain, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, wrap it round again, wrap it round, and then you're going to pull that through all of them with a chain, and that's your first puff stitch. Chain 1. So there's 2 chains. There's the chain to fasten off at the top of the puff stitch, and then another chain, and then you're going to do the same thing all the way around. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all of them, chain 1, 2. So 2 chains between each of the puff stitches, and you're going to do that all the way round, so you'll have 16 until you get back to the beginning. Now we're just coming to the last couple of puffs. Now we're just coming to the beginning here. You can see that join there. So what we're going to do is to join up on that there with a slip stitch, and that's on first round of the body. You can see the puff stitches looking like little feathers. So this is going to be the head of the little hen, and this is the first row of feathers. Okay, round 2 of the body. You've just finished off with a chain there, so you're just going to do another chain. So there's 2 chains, and then we're going to be working in the spaces where you've got your did your 2 chains on the previous round, and we're just going to do puffs again, which are much easier now because they're in a big space rather than a little fiddly one. Okay, you've just done a chain 2 there. This is chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and we go into the next space. And now a chain 2. 1, 2, next space. And chain 3. 1, 2, 3. The next one. And a chain 2. So you're doing alternate chain 2 and chain 3 as you go all the way around to the end, and this will result in your little hen getting a little bit fatter around the middle. Okay, so you're going to carry that all the way around. I'm just coming to the last couple now. One, 2, I'll just do one more in there. 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going to join into that chain that we did at the beginning, and then we're going to go into round 3, which is exactly the same. So you're going to start off with your chain 2, 1, 2, into that space, 1, pull those through, chain 3, 2, 3, into the next one, and go all the way around. You could do bobble stitches here as well if you wanted to, but I quite like puff stitches. Oops, wobbled that camera a bit, because they do, I think they look more like feathers. So you're going to work that all the way around until you get back to the beginning. We're just coming to the end of round 3. Just do our last puff stitch in there. One, 2, 3, and I'm just going to join into that chain there with a slip stitch, and we're going into round 4. So similar thing again, but this time we're going to do 3 chains and then the puffs, then into the puff stitch. So, but we're going to start off with just 2, otherwise it will get a little bit baggy. So puff stitch into the first one, again into the spaces, through, oops, and then 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, oops, got tangled up, and into the next one. And this will be the fattest part of your hen. Through, 1, 2, 3. You're going to go all the way around. You'll get very, very good at puff stitch by the end of this. One, 2, 3, and so on all the way around. So we come to the end of round 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just going to join up with a slip stitch as we go into round 5, chain 2. And round 5 is the same as round 2. So puff stitch, chain 3, puff stitch, chain 2. So we've done the fattest bit of the hen, and we're just bringing it down again. 1, 2, 3, puff stitch, 1, 2. So you're going to do that once again all the way around. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, and do that all the way around. Now we're coming to round 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, coming into 6. This is the last round of the body, and it's the same as round 2. So puff stitch, chain 3, puff stitch, chain 2. Oops, chain 2. stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So puff stitch, chain 2, puff stitch, chain 3, all the way around, and I'll see you at the end. And it's the end of round 6. Let's do that last one. Ooh, wiggle that in. 1, 2, I think I'll do 3 on that end. Join it up with a slip stitch. I'm going to cut the yarn. Just pull that through, and we have our head and our body. And the next bit we're going to do is the comb and the beak. So we're going to attach the yarn through that loop there. Fasten it there. Don't worry about this tail. We'll sort that one out in a moment. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Miss one chain into that next one. Pull up the loop. It's a little bit fiddly. 1, 2, 3. Miss one. Just pull that through again. 1, 2, 3. Miss one. Pull that through. See, we're making these chains here. We'll do one more. 1, 2, 3. Miss. Oh, this is very fiddly, this one. Into that loop at the back there. The end. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Chain 1 and turn. You see it's coming together now. Don't worry about that. 2 double crochets into the space. 1, 2. Push that along. Then 1 half treble, 2 double crochets, and you're going to do that into each of those spaces. So double, double, half treble. Oh, tangled up a bit. Double, double, into the next one, double, double, half treble, double, double, and then to the last one. and just tighten that bit up, and then you're going to finish that off with, oh dear, this yarn's not very good really, but it's a great colour. Let's pop that back in there. Oh no, I've come out of there now. Right, another double in there, and then finish off with a slip stitch. I'm just going to tidy up these ends. I'm going to go into the, like this. And do the same with the other end as well. We're going to do the beak. I'm going to go into these 2 stitches next to the comb, just using some orange thread here, yarn the hook through, pull the yarn, and just a little stitch in there. We're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to go back into that stitch with a slip stitch. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. Just pull that across. Just pull that, leave that bit there. We've tidied that bit at the end. So we've done that with a slip stitch. Now we're going to do chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and again I'm going to go back into that space, pull up the hook, pull up the yarn, hook through, and finish with a slip stitch. Pull that tight, cut your yarn, and just pull that through. And then we've got our little beak, like that, and we've tidied up those ends. So we've got our comb and our beak with all the ends tied in, and the next bit is to do the tail. So the tail is made up of double crochet, trebles, puff stitch, and chains. We're going to work this separately. So using your main colour yarn, you're going to do a slip stitch and then chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have a simple chain, and then into that first chain there we're going to do a double crochet. We're going to do a double crochet in the next one, the next one, till we get to the end. From there, chain 1 and turn. Okay, so we've got double crochets in there. Now we're going to do 2 trebles in each of these spaces. So 1, 2, just in the spaces there, 2 trebles. That last one, like that, and then we're going to cut the yarn, just pull that one through. That's our first part. We're going to use our orange yarn, and we're going to do a puff stitch in each of the spaces with a chain 2 in between. We start and just join. I'll just join it up with a slip stitch, I think. That. I'm just going to do a chain 2, and again we can tidy up the ends later. And then into that same space, a puff stitch, exactly as we did on the hen body, so you'll be really good at these by now. Chain 2, 1, 2, and then another puff stitch into that space. 2, 3, 4, there, pull that through, 1, 2, and you're going to do that all the way to the end. All the way around there. I'm just going to do the last one, chain 2, last little puff in that last space. That's the one that gets stuck. Chain 1 at the end, and then just cut the yarn, and then just pull that one through. That's your next bit. So the next bit we're going to do, to use red thread and do chains similar to how we did the comb. So in that first stitch where we did the chain, I'm just going to join our yarn. We're going to do chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to do a double crochet in the space. There, then chain 5. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just tuck that behind. Double crochet in the space. And you're going to do that all the way around. So just do the last one on this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pop it in there. Crochet to the end, chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to do the same thing, chain 5 into the chain 5 spaces. So we've just done chain 1 there. So we're just going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, and then into that space with the double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could do a slip stitch here. The double crochet just gives it a little bit more of a ridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep these chains quite loose. And you can do that all the way around to the end. Okay, just do the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into that last chain space with the double crochet. Cut the yarn. Pull through. You're going to tidy up all of the ends, and that is the tail. So I've tidied up all of the ends except for this first strand, because I'm going to use that to attach the tail to the body of the hen. So I'm going to fold that in half, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take our hen and we're going to attach the tail across there. So using the darning needle, just going to stitch into the body of the hen. Pulling quite tightly. Turn that round. And then just weave that last bit. And trim that off. And then we can see our tail is attached. And it's all looking quite sweet. And the only thing that we now need to do are the eyes. Now you can use a little bead, or you could do an embroidery knot stitch, which is what I'm going to do, but it's up to you, or a tiny little button perhaps, and then your little hen will be finished. I'm just going to be creating the eye, so I'm just using a little dot there with a felt tip pen, put the needle through, just so I can mark it. I'm going to be stitching over that bit so it won't show. Like that. Just put a double knot end of the yarn, go into the chick, just bring my needle up to that spot. And I'm going to do a French knot. 1, 2, 3 times round, back, very close to where it came in, and then just gently pull through. And then you do the same on the other side. Bring the needle through to where I marked it with a felt tip. Just keep that quite gentle. 1, 2, 3. Needle in close to where I was before. Keep finger over it, pull it through, and then inside, just put it like this for a minute, tie a knot, and there she is, little hen. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you enjoy making your own little crochet hen. You can find the pattern in my Etsy shop, Missy DeLeaf, where you can download it, and you can look at some of the other stuff that I've got on there. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.